Hello and welcome everybody to Alchemy Online. I'm Jody and I'm happy to be practicing yoga with you this morning. Today is Monday, but if you're watching this class later on in the future, I just want to give you guys a little bit of what's going on inside my brain. So as we're starting to teach these classes, what has it been now? End of March, I guess, during COVID. As a teacher, I'm starting to think how because we're creating a library of classes and this really amazing amount of content from all the teachers that are teaching right now for Alchemy Yoga, that it might be nice to be able to have some classes that are specific to certain things that you might need in your day or just in life in general. So just to give you a couple of examples of that, I've taught a headstand workshop over the last few weeks. The last week I taught a class on wrists and shoulders and head, neck, and spine for cyclists. And today's class is going to be specific in the way that it's going to be a class for those at different times when you might need a little bit of a wake up. So I was thinking about yesterday, and just here in Cochrane yesterday it was pretty rainy and it was cold and there was just kind of this gloomy tone over the town. And I think for myself and the people that are living with me in my house, we all just kind of had this weird feeling. So this class would be for any time that you kind of have that, you just can't shake that feeling of just maybe the blues or not feeling okay. If you feel like you've been resting for too long and you feel like a stagnation in the body, you know that expression where if you've been sleeping too much, like sleep begets sleep, and then it just kind of turns into this cycle. And so it's almost like we're going to throw a little bit of a stick in the spoke of the wheel here to interrupt that circuit if you are in fact feeling like you need to wake up. So we'll start off really slow and then we'll pick up the pace a little later on in class. And some of these poses that we're going to do today are very invigorating. And some of the poses that we're going to do today, if you have any issues in the cervical spine, in the neck, I want you just to not do them, okay? So I'll cue some different things for you guys, but let's get started, okay? So let's get onto the mat. We're going to begin on the back with your feet as wide as the mat and the knees tenting in towards center. When I'm in this shape, I like to pick up my skull and then just lengthen through my neck and let my chin rest back down towards my chest. And we'll begin here by noticing the breath with the pelvis in this neutral shape, a nice long spine. With our knees tented in to center like this, it allows the low back to be sweet and soft. And so start to lengthen out your breath, the inhale and the exhale. Inhale, feel your ribs expand. And exhale, feel everything soften back in towards the source, the center from where it began. And so this class that I'm going to teach today is one that inspired me from one of my favorite teachers, Jason Crandall, who I've been following a lot during COVID, and I feel like it's his voice that I can hear the most in my head during this time. So I dedicate this class to him, and thank you for inspiring me to teach this class today. A few more breaths here. Ribs expand as body softens on the exhale. And so one of the things that we want to be aware of when we are feeling exhausted or tired or stagnant is to welcome ourselves back to movement rather than shocking our systems or using that kind of thinking where we have to smarten up and wake up. But the spirit of gentleness to bring ourselves back to activity in the same way that we could just welcome a friend to go for a walk or a bike ride. Okay, in the next few moments, you're going to take your feet in line with the sitting bones. And then take your right leg to cross over top of your left leg, figure four style. Go ahead and pick up your left foot so that you can thread your hands behind your leg. Keep that length in your neck. Keep drawing your chin towards your chest. Use your right elbow to push your right hip open. Keep your feet active. And keep your eyes closed if you like, or a soft gaze. Good. Simply switch sides. Left ankle over right leg. If your neck has come out of alignment, re-straighten the neck. Nice, long, smooth neck. Just a couple more breaths here. Some gentle pressure from your left elbow into your left leg. And then right foot settles down. Take your arms out wide and windshield wiper your knees from left to right, side to side. Bring your knees back up to center, and then hands right alongside the body. Now go ahead and tilt the pelvis so that you're creating more space in the back side of you, so that the front rim of the pelvis comes to tilt towards the thighs. And then go ahead and flatten the curve in the back by bringing the front rim of the pelvis towards the navel. So once again, arc through the spine, front rim of the pelvis comes to face towards the thigh bone so that you have this exaggerated curve in the low back. And then lift up a little bit so that you can flatten that curve out. Draw the hip points towards the ribs. Do this a few more times on your own, tilting the pelvis from forward to back, anterior to posterior. A few more times on your own to breath, lifting up, curving the back, lifting up to flatten the curve of your back, and maybe COVID, hopefully. Do a few more like this. And so some of the concepts of this class today are to do some simple movements that are like rocking the body. When we do patterns where we link two things together, and it can help to calm down the central nervous system and bring a sense of ease and relaxation to the body, mind, and spirit. Do a couple more here. Find your own rhythm. Good. And then just settle here. Bring the feet wide again, knees tent in towards center. Long, slow, deep breathing. Good. And then we'll come up to a sit, and I'm going to demonstrate the next two poses that we're going to link together. And this would be a place in class where if you have anything going on in the cervical spine, in the neck, I want you to be really careful. We're going to begin with crossing left shin in front of right shin. Rock your sitting bones from side to side a time or two, and then tent your fingers and walk your hands forward. Drop your head. Stretching through the arms, extend your arms, lengthening through the ribs, the side body, the waist. Now on your next inhale breath, you'll come up, keep the legs just as they are. Take your hands back behind you and lift the chest. And as you exhale, you're going to come back into this cross-legged forward fold shape. Let's link these two poses together. Inhale, hands back behind you. Open, pop open the chest. Do a couple more. Okay, let's come back up to a tall spine. So if you have anything going on in the neck, any implications in the cervical spine, I want you to repeat what we just did, okay? Cross legs, coming forward to a forward fold with crossed legs, hands back behind you to open up the chest, going from those two shapes, okay? And keeping the rhythm of the breath, coming up on the inhale, going down on the exhale. If you're okay in your neck and you're familiar with halasana pose, that's the plow pose, we're going to take the feet right over top of the head, and then we're going to come forward with legs extended to a forward fold. Okay, we're going to go back and forth between those two shapes. I was practicing this before I was teaching it, and Kyle was doing it with me, and he calls this the pocket emptying pose, because when he threw his legs back over his head, his sunglasses, his wallet, and his keys went flying out of his pockets. So do be very careful. It's a little bit more challenging to keep the legs straight when you're doing this. If you need to bend your knees, totally fine. All we're trying to get is some invigoration in the body from changing these two shapes from legs over the head to legs extended and heart forward. Okay? So we're going to do this about 5 to 8 times. If I lose my mic pack, you guys keep going. Okay? So here we go. So this is Dandasana, or staff pose. We'll come forward into a forward fold around the spine. On the inhale, we'll come up. Legs go right up and over top of the head. Doesn't matter if your feet touch. And then come back to Dandasana, to forward fold, heart forward. Inhale, come on up. Feet over top of the head. Legs straight if you can. Knees bent if you like. And then roll back to Dandasana, to forward fold. So let's take this up to breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And all the air out. Find your rhythm, find your pace. I keep my hands alongside the body. Some of you might take your hands up and over top of your head like this. It's just wherever you can honestly find the most coordination. What are we at here? About 5? Let's do 3 more. Sometimes you have to do stuff like this to get yourself out of a mood. Let's do one last one. Inhale, arms up, legs up. And then we're going to cross the legs and join those that are in a forward fold, arms forward. Soften through the side body. Inhale, take in the air, feel the ribs expand. Exhale, relax. One more. Big breath in. And big breath out. Soften, recoil back into yourself. Okay, come on up to all fours and we'll meet in a tabletop position. So one thing that we do in class a lot, in my classes anyways, or in Vinyasa style yoga, is we often begin class with cat-cow. And so let's do that. That's 2 poses that we link together where we're finding the spine moving through extension and flexion. So round through the spine, cat pose, tail tucks under, dome your spine. Keep the weight in your hands, wrist pull towards the knees, lift the tail, pop open the chest. Push the fingertips forward, arc through the spine like you're trying to make a rainbow with your back. And then inhale, eyes lift, heart lifts. A few more like this. Get into the rhythm of the breath. Do one more cat pose. And do one more cow pose. And when you get into the cow pose, eyes lifted, heart lifted, tuck your toes under if they're not already. And I always like thinking how when we're in this cow pose, we go straight back into downward facing dog and we don't have to do a thing. Everything is set and ready for dog pose. Start to pedal out your feet, your legs. Bring some movement to the back body. And then we'll link together plank pose and downward facing dog in the same way that we've been doing here. On your next inhale breath, glide to the top of plank.
And on the exhale breath, hips high, heart back, downward facing dog. Keep going. Inhale, plank. Remember to lengthen your neck and look forward in plank. And then exhale, head heavy, eyes back. Keep going. Let's do 2 more. Downward facing dog. Pause here. Pedal out your feet again. On your next inhale breath, step your right foot forward to your hands. And then come up onto fingertips, dome your hands. Keep your back left leg extended and lifted, knees lifted. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the eyes. Exhale, right foot steps back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. On the exhale, left foot steps forward to the hands. Come up high on the fingertips. Lift the heart. Look up with your eyes. Back leg is strong. And then exhale, go back to downward facing dog. Again, top of the plank pose on your inhale. You're gliding forward. Look forward. Exhale, use the legs, use the abdominals to pull the hips back up and high. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Now inhale, glide to the top of plank pose again. When you get there, drop down to your knees. And then release the tops of your feet. And then like your hips are heavy and weighted, let them sag down. So you find yourself in this up dog pose. Rock your hips from side to side, left and right. If this is too much for the low back, if there's too much compression in the lumbar spine, you could do a version of this in cobra pose with your elbows bent. Good. Now lift up through the hands, the arms, shoulders melt away from the ears. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Good. And then come back through all fours. Rock hips up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. On the inhale, top of plank pose. Exhale, drop the knees. Release the tops of the feet. Let the hips get heavy. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Upward facing dog. And then exhale, go back, hips back and up, downward facing dog. We're going to do 1 more in a row just like that. Inhale, top of the plank. Exhale, knees down. Tops of the feet release. Open up the chest. Think of trying to pull your heart through your arm bones. Eyes straight forward. Good. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, followed by a full steady breath out. Step your right foot forward to your hands. And then bump your back foot in just a little bit so that your front right leg can straighten. Think of pyramid pose. Now tent your fingers again like we did in that lunging pose. And on the inhale, find length in your spine. And on the exhale, soften in towards your front leg. Front knee doesn't have to be straight. It can have a bit of a bend. Your back heel, have it pressurized into the floor though. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, soften, deepen the pose. Keep going like this. Inhale. Exhale. Lift and lengthen like you're trying to find length through your waist. And then all the air out. 1 more like this. Big breath in. Big breath out. Now let your hands frame your front foot. Step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, top of the plank. Exhale, knees down, tops of the feet release. Lift the chest for upward facing dog. Remember, you can be in cobra if this is too much. Come back to all fours, tuck the toes, hips up, downward facing dog. Head follows through last. Take a full breath in. Steady on the breath out. Step your left foot forward to your hands. Bump in your back right foot so that your heel can seal down into the earth. Remember, this front left leg can be bent or it can be straight. Inhale, find new length in the spine. Exhale, find new depth in the pose. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. One of the ways that we can bring a sense of enthusiasm to the spirit is to lengthen out the breath. It helps distract the mind. Keep going. So there's nothing too difficult about this. We're just finding breath with movement to steady the fluctuations in the mind. One more breath in. Lengthen. And then frame your foot. Step back. Downward facing dog. Again, we're moving through that little up dog sequence. Inhale, top of the plank. Exhale, knees down, tops of the feet release. Sag the hips down, lift the heart. And then go back through downward facing dog. When you're in downward facing dog, walk your feet forward towards your hands. And when you get there, just find your feet hip distance apart, lift one heel and then the other, find the earth underneath the feet. Soften through your knees so that you can waterfall the whole spine, the head. Try to let go of your head really well here. In the same way that when we were laying on the back, we were trying to find length in the back of the neck. Same thing here. Look to the space between your feet. Look backwards. Now from this, take your hands together, clasp them together, and then open up the chest here. Keep your head heavy. Keep your chest expanding. Keep your knees soft. Long, slow, deep breathing here. Okay, we're going to link two poses together here. So your feet can stay hip distance apart. Or if you want to challenge the balance a bit, you could bring your feet together, up to you. Sink your hips so that your knees bend and come up into your version of Utkatasana chair pose. Breath in. Breath out. We're going to Uttanasana forward fold. Keep moving like this. Inhale. Exhale. Going from an invigorating pose, Utkatasana, to a passive pose, Uttanasana. Keep moving. Move through the stagnation. Move through any heaviness. Let's do two more. This is the last one. And then we're resting in the forward, standing forward fold. Take your feet apart if they were together. Picture frame your arms. Let your head fall through the space of your arm bones. Okay, release your arms, plant your hands, step your feet back to a downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And let the full breath out come out your mouth. Reseal the mouth. Step your right foot forward to your hands. Drop your left knee this time. Inhale, low lunge pose, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Step your right foot back to the top of plank. Chaturanga pose if you feel ready. Otherwise, drop the knees to lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Go ahead, lift your left leg, step it forward to your hands, drop your right knee down. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands down, foot back. A nice easy flow with no urgency, no rush. But breaking through some of the heaviness here. Chest open. Hips back, heart back. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Followed by that full breath out. Look forward, step forward, top edge of the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow into the legs, drop your head. Soft knees come up, reach all the way up. And then exhale, set the hands to the space of the heart, pause. Watch for stimulation. Watch for a feeling of kind of getting to the other side of what was. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, take the arms wide, chest expands, drop your head. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, take a deep step back with your left foot, drop your left knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. You're stepping back to the top of a plank pose. Finish chaturanga from the knees or toes. Find a back bend. Cobra would do, or locust is actually my favorite. Exhale, downward facing dog. On the inhale breath, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step it to the hands, drop your knee. Reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands down. Step your back foot forward to meet the front foot, bow in. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands down. We'll do one more lunging sequence like that. Breath in, reach up. This time, take the hands right down the midline of you, forward fold in towards the legs, heavy head. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Right foot steps back, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart, pop the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, pick up your left foot. Step it forward to your hands, drop your right knee. Take the arms up, stretch through the waist. Hands down. Step your back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, pause. Okay, we'll take one more flow to get us back to a downward facing dog. Reach all the way up. Fold all the way down. Carry the heart, the head forward, lengthen your spine. And then simply press your hands down to step your feet back. Downward facing dog pose. See if you can relax in downward facing dog. Let's find 5 breaths of stillness here. Something that I remember from when I used to run several years ago is that I remember in the running world, people used to say, if you could run for 5 kilometers, you could run a marathon. And I've often thought that that's true in yoga as well, that if we can get through about the first 5 to 15 minutes of a practice, we could just keep on going forever. But starting is the hardest. Breaking through that initial stagnation, a mood, the blues, is the hardest part. And so if you're still here, if you're still moving, if you're still breathing, keep going. Well done. Look forward with your eyes, step your feet there, and we're going to come to a seat. And so in the yoga world, we think of yoga as being like medicine. And so if you, in the same way that we eat food to make us feel well and to make us feel better, yoga poses are the exact same thing. And so the poses that we do in yoga that help us to elevate the spirit or to help with depression, to help with sadness, are back bends. So we're going to take some back bends here now that the body is open so that we can really get into that enthusiasm of the heart. These poses are like sunshine medicine for the heart on a gloomy day. So go ahead and lay down on your back. Just the same way that we started, with your knees bent. Take your feet wide and tent your knees in towards center. And just check in with the status of you here.
Check in with your breath. Okay. So bring your feet back in line with your hips. And the old cue we used to give in the old days was we used to say, have your longest finger touch your heels. Well, it depends on your length of your arms, whether or not you're able to touch your heels. So now we more say, scoot your feet in, your heels in towards your sitting bones as much as you're able to do. Again, I want you to pick up your skull and tilt your chin down towards your chest, like you're just gently finding length in the back of your neck, and then relay your skull back down. Place your hands alongside your hips. And on the inhale breath, lift the hips up. Remember when we did those pelvic tilts at the beginning of class? Like you're trying to roll the front of the hip points towards the ribs, then lift up the hips. So your pelvis is neutral here. And then as you exhale, lower it down. Keep going with breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Use your feet, use your legs, use your glutes to assist in the lifting of the whole lower half of the body. Don't let your feet become disengaged. Keep your hands pressing down. And keep that firm press of your shoulder blades and the back of the skull into the mat. And then lowering and raising the hips up. So we'll begin with these fairly passive, gentle back bends here. And then if you'd like to, we'll get a little bit more invigorating with the movement. But I'll leave it up to you. If it's too much for you to go with what's coming up next, I want you to keep doing this. I call this the wavy bridge pose. You're lifting up on the inhale and lowering on the exhale. One more. Lift up to lower down. Okay, so we're going to do a series of Ardhva Dhanurasana, which is the wheel pose. If it's too much for you, you can lift up the bridge and hold it for a few breaths, or you can keep on doing the wavy bridge. Okay? So we're going to break through stagnation here. We're going to open up rays of sunshine in the heart here. Take your hands back behind you. So the fingertips face the shoulders or the heels. And then on your inhale breath, I want you to pop up to the top of your head. And then stay for the exhale. Inhale, press into the hands and feet, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin, lower the whole spine back down to the floor. Okay, so we're going to continue to do a few more of these to the rhythm of the breath. So we're going to come up onto the top of the head, press up into full wheel if you'd like, and then we'll lower, and we'll go for 5, okay? If you can do more than 5, pause the video and just keep going, not to exhaustion, but to this point where you feel like you've broken through, okay? Broken through the clouds. Okay, so let's do 5 of these. Take your fingers back behind you. Press into the hands, into the feet. Inhale to the top of the head. Exhale to pause. Inhale, press up, lift up. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Exhale, tuck the chin. Whole spine touches the body. Pause here for an inhale. Stay here for the exhale. Let's do 4 more. Inhale to the top of the head. Exhale to pause. Inhale, press up, lift up. Exhale, slowly come down, tuck the chin, lower the whole spine down. Pause for a breath in. Stay right here for the breath out. Inhale, top of the head. Exhale, little hesitation here. Inhale, lift up, stretch up. Body looks like a rainbow. And then tuck the chin, lower down. One thing I'm really bad at is counting where we're at, so I think that was 3. So let's do 2 more. Take a breath in. Stay for a breath out. Inhale, top of the head, crown of the head. Pause here. Inhale, use the legs. The legs should start to feel a little fatigued by now. That's okay.
Tuck the chin, lower down, whole body touches the floor. Stay for one breath in. Stay for all the air out. Last one, best one. Inhale, top of the head. Exhale, pause. Press up, lift up. Charge the heart towards the sky. And then exhale, breath lower all the way down. Take the soles of the feet together. Both hands come to touch the body. Take a full breath in. And let the air, the breath tumble out your mouth. Feel your beating heart. A few more soft, quiet breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, come to a sit. Put your favorite shin in front, legs crossed. Sit up nice and tall, breath in. And then breath out, left hand to right knee, tent your right fingertips behind you, twist the spine. Stay right here, inhale. And exhale. Without any urgency, without any rush. 2 more breaths here. On the exhale breath, switch sides, right hand, left knee. Left fingertips are tented just to find height. And then soften into the twist. Your eyes can be open, your eyes can be closed. And then release the twist, come back to center. Like we did at the beginning of class, walk your hands forward, bring the heart forward as much as you're comfortable. Let the head fall heavy. Stretch the back of your neck. Walk your hands back up to a tall spine. And pause here. Let your hands rest on your lap, on your knees. Close your eyes. And so the tools that we have in our lives, we don't just use one tool to get the job done. There's different tools that we use in conjunction with each other. And one of the things that I like to use, other than yoga and exercise to help elevate my spirit or change my mood, is my belief system, my thoughts, my faith. And I'll leave you guys with one of my very favorite quotes. I'm not sure where it's from in the Bible. I think it's Isaiah. If somebody knows, let me know. But I'll leave you with this. And this is a helpful thing for myself. I've had this written on my chalkboard for probably about a month. I just erased it recently. But for the spirit of heaviness, put on the garment of praise. And to me, that means that when we're starting to feel desperate, when we're starting to feel untethered, that practice of gratitude is what brings us back. It's what grounds us. It's what reminds us of what we do have. So I hope this class is helpful to elevate the spirit. And Kyle just wants you all to know that there's going to be 2 bike rides this week. Today is what, June 8th? Yeah. There's 2 bike rides. There's going to be one on Wednesday and Thursday because the sun is supposed to shine for us. So watch our social media, you guys. One of them's going to be an intermediate ride and one's going to be an advanced ride. Yeek, I don't know what that means. So thank you guys again for taking the time out of your morning, your day to watch this video. Namaste.